Not say that I moved away from science to spirituality, because the more I delve into spirituality,
What do you see in the people who make good decisions or great decisions? What quality kind of separates them from those who are still stuck and
this
confused?
empress energy will be in you. I cannot compare myself. There's a
Okay.
card. It shows a very young, youthful person standing on the cliff of a mountain. If you take
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Marketing Tarot, the podcast where we pull a card, spark a conversation, and uncover the strategies growth professionals are actually living right now. I'm your host, Charu, and today is a very special milestone. This is our 100th video. And my guest today is not a marketeer, she's not a founder in the traditional sense, and not someone you would typically find on a business podcast. And that's exactly why she's here. For 99 episodes, we've looked outwards, right, at strategies, founders, growth mindset, tips, and tricks. But for this episode, I think we will look inwards. So, hi, Sushma, how are you?
Hi, first of all, congratulations on the 100th video. And secondly, I'm very good and very excited to be on a podcast with you, because one thing is that we connect as friends, and also I know you on a personal level, on a professional level, and somewhere we have been part of each other's journey. So it's a really special moment for me too. So thanks for the invitation.
Thank you so much. So guys, let me introduce Sushma. Dr. Sushma Dwivedi is a master tarot reader. She is a numerologist, a Reiki grandmaster, cosmic intelligence meditation coach, and also the founder of Mystic Magic Miracles, who has, I don't know, hundreds of clients all across the globe. She's also someone who has been with me, like on my personal journey so far. So again, it's a pleasure, Sushma. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Okay, before we go anywhere, I want to start with your story because I think it has some lessons that every founder, business owner, or every person like who is building something can learn. So tell me, you started with a master's in biotechnology, you were a biology teacher. So how come you kind of moved away from that world into this one?
I think I believe in a theory that everything in life is connected and everything happens for a reason. This is one thing I have a very firm belief in. So I will not say that I moved away from science to spirituality, because the more I delve into spirituality, I understand that all concepts of science have come from this spirituality only. So I've told in a lot of spaces, but to cut it short, if I say, I did my degree, I did my job also, I did various of jobs, like I worked at IIT also, then I did my B.Ed and joined as a teacher and all that. But because managing home and kids and everything got really complicated, so I left my job. Okay, so once you're very busy, it's okay. But the moment you realize that you want to do something and you have nothing that will give you that space and freedom where you can do what you like and also manage your family. So just sitting idle one fine day, I told Sanchita, who's my partner, that I want to do something meaningful that gives me not the pressure of a job, but gives me satisfaction that I'm doing something. If not for money, like making money is fine, but something that will give me satisfaction of doing something, and I will be at my own freedom. So she said, okay, we can start with the healing thing, because I was already a Reiki master, like back in college days. I had learned Reiki very early, like 2005, I had learned Reiki. So I thought, okay, I'll start Reiki. And meanwhile, then I started learning tarot and then numerology, and I kept learning, because the more the clients started pouring in, I realized that I need more knowledge to satisfy different areas of their life. If I want to transform somebody's life, I need more knowledge, understanding, and wisdom for myself. So that's way it started, and then comes the strategy. Okay, now let's have a website. Now let's have an Insta page, and let's connect globally, and this and that, and it grew. It's all God's grace.
Oh, that's amazing. So this company that you built, right, Mystic Magic Miracles, it's kind of in a space that not everybody understands, right? It's spirituality, energy healing, tarot. These things are something maybe you cannot put on a PPT, right, or on a pitch deck or something. So what has been like the hardest part of building this brand around something that requires people to maybe experience it before they believe it? What has
See,
been the challenge there?
one of the most difficult thing is that this is not something you can spread an Excel sheet and so this is profit, this is loss, this is what we gained and this is what we lost, because
Yeah.
this is something that is very transformational. So first thing is that we did not focus on gaining monetary value or making it like marketing ki we are doing this, that, anything. The first thing that we focused was healing and giving readings to our clients and dealing with them one to one. If you have been with us, so you know, like
Yeah.
we will not only listen to your problem, we listen to your whole life. We'll talk about a lot of things and give insights in every aspect of your life. So if even one single person, gets that transformation, I have changed in this aspect of my life, that itself becomes a good selling point. Like it is word to mouth. Like everybody
Yeah.
goes, एक जन दूसरे जन के पास जाता है and they tell कि this is the person. So building trust is what takes you ahead. You can scale up your business later on. The initial stage is only to build trust that yes, if we are saying that we give you this information, then that
Yeah.
is right. You can experience it and feel the transformation that you achieve in your life. So that is the one of the most difficult part is that it is not tangible what we
Yes.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you will experience it in your each and every cell of your body that yes, something has changed. So that is a blessing.
Yeah, because why I'm asking you this, I think at some point every founder they face this kind of a version of this challenge. You're always selling something that is new, right? It only makes sense when someone is experiencing it. They give a testimonial, is what we call in marketing terms. You make it a case study, and then you build that trust, and then it becomes universally.
And I'm really grateful to God that I have many people who will simply vouch that come to this person. Like I don't have to go and say how good or bad I am. I have plenty of people who will just, if somebody goes for a feedback, they will tell that okay, this is for this purpose, you can go here. So that is how it's grace. That is all I can say. It's not something that we can put into people, this is the marketing, we need to do this, that. No, it's grace that comes in.
That's amazing, and that's the biggest, I would say, channel of feedback or word of mouth that you can give. Okay, so we'll now move to another section, which is really getting you into the world of language of this podcast. Okay, so you work with founders, right? Executives, professionals, navigating big decisions, challenges. They come to you. And I know personally, like how one single session can completely change your mind and cut through months of overthinking, right? So, what do you see in the people who make good decisions or great decisions? What quality kind of separates them from those who are still stuck and confused?
I have been in both the spaces, so I know what is the difference between a person who is successful and who is not. Okay, so one of the major things that you'll see across the globe is that a person who is afraid to take risk cannot be successful. You cannot be successful if you're not ready to take the risk and also trust your intuition. Like everybody has that intuition in their head ki this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing, this is what I want to do, my passion, my energy, my resources, everything. But that step, what if I fail? And sometimes what I have seen is most people do not fail because of the fear of failure. They fail because of the fear of success. This might seem very strange to you, but a lot of people fail because of the failure of the thought that what if I succeed, because then you have a bar to maintain. Like if one of your podcasts reaches like 1 million views, then next time if something reaches even 9999, you'll feel like, oh, I've left at one. So that the pressure of being on top is something that stops you even from starting. So successful people are ready to take the risk and listen to their intuition. Result to baad mein dekha jayega. It's Gita sar. Karam karo phal ki ichha mat karo. So you decide what you're going to do. That is most important. That you need to know that yes, I want to go do this, and then you step in and just start consistent. You have to be consistent and listen to your inner voice. That is the one thing common across the globe.
That's true. That's very true, and that's something I don't think any MBA program or any kind of institution can teach you. You just have to develop that quality in you and take that action. Okay, great. So coming back to tarot and intuition, like for someone like maybe a professional or a founder who's not worked with tarot, right, or any kind of these intuitive practices, how do they start? Like, is there a simple step? Like, how do they approach this science?
When I say that you have to learn to be silent, a lot of people laugh because I'm a very talkative person in general, if you see. But silence and stillness is something that is required for you to have clarity in your mind. Whether you want to be intuitively aligned, you want to be spiritually aligned, or if you want to, just be in a meditative state, learn tarot, anything. It does not matter which journey you are taking towards your spiritual growth or anything. First, you have to learn to be still and quiet. Once you are still, you are able to see inside you. You are able to see your fears, because some people jump in without knowing what are their actual assets and what are their fears. So once you are still, you know, and then you have to learn to overcome their fear, because dar ke aage jeete, everybody knows that. You have to just learn to, know your challenges, and that you will know only when you're quiet from inside. Learn to be silent and still for a while, and then you can start up. Like if I want to learn tarot and I have no professional coach, no YouTube, no access, then I just get a deck of tarot. I sit with the cards, or anybody. Like suppose I have a card with me. I want to know. I don't know. Then somebody told me ki, you just look at the pictures. I randomly take a card like this. Supposing that I take this. This is like a queen of swords. There's a sword in the hand, and if you see, there's a lady sitting on the chair. There's a background. I will look at the picture and try to connect. What is this image trying to tell me? Does the background make me feel gloomy or powerful, or does it make me feel like a tough decision, or what it is? And then I make notes of it or something, and then I relate it to my life. Whatever question I had in my mind while pulling the card, then we work it like that. So if you want to learn anything, there's a way, but first thing, what you want to learn, why you want to learn should be clear, and that comes with the stillness inside you. So that is the way you start your journey.
Wow. Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I remember I once told you that you need to meditate first before you decide doing anything.
Yes, I remember. And like me, you have trained hundreds of people in Reiki, Tarot. You've coached so many, more than 500, I think is the number. And you have clients globally. I'm also an international client. So with all these awards, right? I think most eminent Reiki healer, you've published poetry, co-authored books. How do you think about scale? This is a little bit of a more founder-based question, but how do you think about scale in a field where the work is so deeply personal? You deal with one-to-one, right? So how do you grow without losing the authenticity? Like, what makes it powerful?
I'll tell you two things. One, this particular business is one of the most dominant business right now. It's I don't know, some multi-million dollar industry is occult practice right now all over the world. Numerology, tarot, Reiki, these have suddenly got a boom after COVID, because everybody was afraid of life. Nobody knows what lies ahead. Everybody wants to know, will I survive? Will my family survive? Will my business survive? So scaling up, I started my business during COVID, not because COVID stuck, because I was free at that time. I told the stillness comes in, you have nothing to do. So that time I already had an asset with me, that I know Reiki, I know tarot at that time. So I said, let us start. But if we see that how to scale up the business, first thing is that it's a one-to-one thing. True.
Yeah.
But while I was doing my B.Ed, there's a very beautiful thing that we were taught during B.Ed. For education, it is essential that each one teaches one. Everyone should make the other capable of teaching somebody, because we were sent to rural areas to teach children. That how do you make it? Because you will go there for a teaching practice of 5 days. You cannot teach the entire village in those 5 days. You at least make one person literate, so that person is able to teach the ABCD to the entire. So that became my thing, that instead of me trying to heal everybody, me trying to guide everybody, me trying to coach everybody, I started teaching things. Like, if a client comes to me with a bigger problem, like if the person has a cancer, or maybe a person has a some disease like a diabetes or a thyroid or something that requires a prolonged healing, I mostly tell them it is okay if you give me the business. Like, if you want the healing from me itself, I'll do that. But it will become a monthly EMI for you, that every month you have to pay me a certain amount. Instead of that, learn it yourself and heal yourself. you will be able to heal yourself and your entire family also. So I
Yeah.
teach them, even for tarot, those who are interested, okay, I want to know about this person, that person, come to me, I'll
Learn
teach
it.
you. I'll make
Yeah.
you capable. So some
Yeah.
people say, then are you not losing on business that way? No, it doesn't work like that. The more I share the knowledge, it becomes more accessible to people and more people approach me for it. So it is not necessary to, I still take one-on-one clients and I have plenty of
Yeah.
clients who will come to me for every single thing. But for the healing things, I prefer teaching them instead of, healing every day for every single client, because that is technically not possible, because a healing of 20 minutes requires me to meditate for another 20 minutes because I have
Yeah.
to be in that state. So the best policy is that you can scale up by coaching instead of taking one-on-one. So that
That's
is
such
how I
a
scale up.
beautiful. It's a beautiful approach, Sushma. Like you maybe empower the other people with that tool or that learning, and then that multiplies, right? And that
Yes.
kind of gets you that scale. That is amazing. That's amazing.
I built my team
Um,
like that. I built my team. I have taught Sancheta Reiki. She was already doing a lot of stuff, but I taught her Reiki, and then she learned many other modalities. And I have many people in my team. Like if you see my website, there's Meenu where she's a tarot reader. So
okay.
I taught her also Reiki, and now we have a team of Reiki people. We have astrology people, numerology. There are many people who I trained, and now they're in my team. So you
Yeah,
expand that way.
that's amazing.
It's
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, we are coming to I think your expertise, which is the card pull section, Sushma. So every episode of this marketing tarot, I pull a card for my guest, right, randomly. But what if we try today and you pull a card for me and for this channel? So while you're doing that, just walk us through the process and what are you feeling? What are you looking for? How do you, what guides you basically?
See, first of all, it is important that I'm in a calm state of mind, which I am most of the time. Like right now, I'm in a peaceful state of mind. If I'm agitated or if I feel like I'm not well or something, I don't take a reading. First and first, like it doesn't matter if it's an important client or a VVIP client, but if I'm not in the state of mind, I don't take the reading.
Mhm.
That is utmost important, like ethical rule for me. Secondly, I'm holding this card. These are very sacred. I don't think twice. Whatever the reading comes, I will not think, अरे ऐसा तो नहीं लग रहा था, because sometimes I have a different gut feeling altogether and the card is showing something else. I'll trust this
Mm.
because
Mm.
I might be misguided by my rigid eyes. Like I know you, okay? So there might be something on the back of my mind. I might have
Yeah.
some feelings, biased feeling towards you, but the cards are not biased. They have, the intellect of the cosmos. They will not lie to me. So whatever it comes, and with them, after I get the card, I use my intuition. That is my inner guidance. I cannot explain that how I use that, but I use my intuition, and whatever the card says, I look at the color, the picture, the texture, and whatever comes to my mind first. Like if there's a card like this, your focus might go on the wand, mine might go on the infinity. Somebody
Okay.
might see just the color, somebody might see that, oh, it's a male card, somebody might see the decoration. Whatever strikes you first.
Whatever speaks to you.
Yeah. So if I look at this, whatever strikes the first, like, okay, this is the thing,
Mm.
that will be my intuition. And every reader has his or her own perception of every card, but the guidance is same, because the guidance is something that comes through grace, and it is not something that we can say that मैंने सोच के बोला है. No, this is something divine speaking through us. So we treat it very sacredly.
Sure.
Okay, so
Sure.
for you, if I have to pull a card, do you have any question, or I can just take a guidance card?
Yeah, I think a guidance will be good.
Okay, so let me just tap into the energy. I'll connect to your name. Just give me a few seconds, okay?
Mhm.
Okay, let us see what card comes to my. I'll take 2 cards for you, and I'll tell you. Oh my God, I have really good cards. I'll show you the cards first. Okay, these are the 2 cards. Okay.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can see the very pretty card. One is a chariot card, and the second is the Empress. Okay.
Rest.
So, one, you can see they're very pretty cards. Both have yellow in the background. Okay. it is something really bright. Okay,
Hmm.
so two things that are very dominantly seen here is that one, your work, because I have taken it regarding this marketing tarot, not for you personally, I have taken this for this the business you're into it and all that. So the first thing is that you will always have the guidance you need from people around you. Okay, the support you need. Second is that your this thing will take you and connect to a lot of people and places, not only people, like obviously I'm in India, you're in US, there is a connection, but you will also move to different places for your work. You might go to some place for a seminar, a webinar or something, but you will go. And like in a span of 3 years, not exactly right now, but in a span of 3 years, this empress energy will be in you. Like, I'll not say you'll become a Maharani sitting on a throne, not like that kind of
I
energy.
don't want to.
Yeah, but it is like where you have the authority to do what you actually want to
Sure.
do, and
Yeah.
you will be like the empress might not
Yeah.
know and not directly rule the world, but everybody knows that she is the queen. You cannot take panga with her, and you will
Yeah.
be generous and do a lot of charity in the coming time. So this is what I see. Your business is going to be nice. The marketing tarot will grow very well, but it will take some time from now. And in 3 years, you will see a transformation that you might not even have thought of. So that is, yes, you have to just keep moving the wheels, and you'll have.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you've always, you've always been motivating that way. And the whole purpose of this channel is really ultimately to help people who don't have the resources and who can be helped, right? Just
Yes.
so I can develop a community where the people who are underprivileged or who don't have those resources, I can provide some help
I've
to them.
seen
That's the only
I've
motive.
seen your episodes, and though I'm not a person who understands marketing very well, but many of your episodes have uh, shown me that how a person who doesn't know what is branding or strategy or anything can learn it, and
Yeah.
imply it in their small scale business or a large scale business, or maybe in their jobs also.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
people who are entering marketing as jobs, they can also learn strategies from experts. So
Exactly.
it is a good thing for people
Perfect.
like us who don't understand.
Yeah, yeah, that's the motive as well. Now, I will ask you a very trendy question, Sushma. I think we are now living in a world which is again reshaped by AI. AI is a buzzword. And as someone who is on the other side of the spectrum, working with intuition, energy, human consciousness, do you mind pulling a card to tell us about the future of AI and what it's showing you, what it can never replace in the future?
एआई का फ्यूचर मतलब एआई दुनिया का फ्यूचर बना रहा है, हम एआई का फ्यूचर है. सो नाइस,
Well,
सच अ नाइस
yeah,
क्वेश्चन इट लगा.
well, yeah, it,
थोड़ा
it
है.
was interesting.
हाँ, it's, see, I have like really I'll take the cards. I'll take three cards. I'll give you three meanings of the cards. Okay.
Sure.
So the first card is like Seven of Swords. It is difficulty, problems, people losing job, not able to cope up. Okay. Then there's this card. There's a moon card. There are like you see two wolves. They're बाकी like what is that called कि वो आवाज निकालते हैं ना चांद को देख के.
Yes,
That kind
howling.
of thing. Howling, yeah, howling. That was the word. And then there's a Page of Cups. Okay.
Okay.
Now these two cards, the first card anybody can understand. This is simple. There is a lot of trouble, but what
Complex.
it will not be able to replace. See, it will create job opportunities and kill job opportunities both. Wherever there is human labor required, AI cannot replace that. Wherever human consciousness, the word you used while asking the question, consciousness, there is where you need this, wherever you need intuitive guidance. Like I have seen people putting their data in ChatGPT and asking what is my future, and ChatGPT is giving very good answers because wherever calculation is required, it's doing it very fast. Like even I have tried for sample, like what is this, and they give good answers. But if you ask tricky questions, it will not answer because human fed data ही है. It is not something that it creates on its own. जो
Right.
हमने कितनी भी वेदों का ज्ञान, it's like you can read 1,000 books, interpret them also, but if you don't have the guidance how to use it, you will not be able to do it. So AI can replace whatever requires simple thinking, monotonous task, and everything, but it will not be able to replace anything that requires empathy, sympathy, conscious. Like, can you replace a nurse by AI?
Very
If
difficult.
somebody is sickly
Yeah.
and dying,
Yeah.
no matter how many robotic surgery you perform, you
No.
need a doctor to operate that robot, and also you need that doctor to speak to the patient's family to tell that the person will survive, don't worry, God
Yes.
is there. AI cannot do that. So still, uh, nothing can replace human values.
Yeah.
You see, it's like when computers came, people said सारी नौकरियां चली जाएंगी, but then सारी नौकरियां कंप्यूटर से ही जनरेट की लोगों ने. Everybody became an IT and a computer engineer. Everybody, like
Sure.
when we
Yeah.
were studying, everybody took computer science as a subject.
Right.
Everybody,
Right.
all engineers. Yes, civil level की demand कम हो गई. Everybody was doing computer science and IT. So it is
100%. Yeah.
always that human mind has God's gift of creating ways. पहाड़ को तोड़ के टनल बना सकता है इंसान, तो AI क्या है? कुछ ना कुछ रास्ता, because if you can develop a problem, you can develop a
Yeah.
solution also. So ठीक है, let it do what it wants.
I think that streak of innovation, of creating something new, that
That AI
AI
can give you
doesn't have
ideas
that
for that.
power. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
AI can give you thousands of ideas. You ask one, I want to make a new innovative project for my child, that will get 10,000 ideas. आइडिया की कमी नहीं है AI के पास, ना इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की. बट क्या वो आइडिया सच में करना चाहिए? डू यू एक्चुअली नीड टू डू दैट?
Yeah.
दैट कम्स थ्रू ह्यूमन कॉन्शियसनेस ओनली, बिकॉज AI के लिए मुझे इस दीवार के पास जाना है, तोड़ दो, इज द सॉल्यूशन. घर को क्या डैमेज होगा? AI doesn't care.
That's true. That's true. That's a very good
That
example.
is what you need to use your own intellect to overcome that.
Yeah, because I will tell you, because the debate right now in marketing is exactly what you're talking about. Like, how much do we automate? What we leave for the human touch, you know?
I had
And
this discussion actually
yeah,
with my husband. He's into marketing. My husband is on a senior level marketing.
Yeah.
He does, and he deals with a lot of you. I don't understand his work, but yes, he deals with a lot of people across the world. So I asked, कि अब तो AI है तो marketing. So he said, marketing will never be replaced by AI. AI will give the strategy to market, but nothing sells without human touch. If you don't
Absolutely.
talk to the other person, and if they don't have trust in you, AI can't get that trust.
yes.
So everything sells on the face value of the person you're dealing with. So I don't have to worry about the AI thing. ठीक है. That is what he said. Exactly his words कि AI can give me a better strategy. मुझसे अच्छा सोच सकता है AI, but it cannot replace my face value. The trust the people have in me as a person.
Yeah.
They value what I say, that I will be able to deliver what I'm promising. That doesn't come through AI. That comes through the one-to-one.
Exactly. And it has become even more important. Like, the value of that has even gone up even more. Now people are like, everywhere it's technology, tool, this, that. Where is that human person that I can connect to one-on-one, that can give me that trust factor? So it's actually
Yes.
become even more important. Okay, the last thing before we end this reading session, Sushma, is just a inquisitive question. Like, how much of tarot reading is destiny? Like, how much of part of it is intuition, and how much is the reader's interpretation? Is it different for every tarot reader? Like, how you answered this, but maybe a little bit more
I'll
explanation.
tell you, it's an amalgamation of almost every aspect that you mentioned. But destiny is something that I don't think is fixed. Okay. I am a person who believes a lot in free will. Okay. What you choose in your life decides what your life will be. Okay. I've given this example, I think, 1,000 times now in various podcasts and in guests I meet, and my clients also, that if you're bound to, if you're born in a family which is like maybe a beggar's family or a roadside person, and you're bound to have a lot of money in future. Okay. Now it is your past life, or it is your intuition or intellect or whatever, but what you choose, whether you choose to beg, maybe someday somebody will throw a lottery on you and you'll get that money. Whether you steal, someday you know, have a good steal and you do a robbery or something and you get good amount of money, and then you scale up your something, or you work really hard and then you get, you know, which path you choose. Rich, if you are bound to be rich, you'll be rich, but which
Yeah.
path you have taken. and it then decides what your future will be, because money comes to you, but does the respect along with that comes to you? That
Right.
depends how you got the money. It is
Yeah.
same for everything, no matter how you scale up anything. But if I tell about tarot, tarot is basically it depends a lot on the current state of the person who has come with the questions. It is not like astrology. It doesn't give you fixed answers. It gives you probability of what if you do this, what if you do that. Okay, it does not say कि आपके नक्षत्रों में लिखा है कि आप इतने बजे पैदा हुए तो ये घटनाएं होंगी, which is true in case of astrology. They will predict, but they will
Yeah.
also say it is dependent on what karma you do. Tarot
Of
predicts
course.
that karma. If you do this, you will go here. If you do this, you will go here. So it is based on your current energy, and the intuition of the reader is divine. It is not something that we create. I always say when the cards are in our hands, we are not speaking on our own, making up things. No, it is not
Yeah.
abracadabra. It is something that comes through divine. So it is more of energy guidance than
Yeah.
exact prediction. Though it will tell you, what if you do this, this will be the outcome. It's like you input a data and you know this will be the result, like that.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm so glad you said like this tarot is not a fixed reading like astrology, and that's why I feel, again, connecting back to marketing tarot, it's the same, right? You are given you have a question, you're given a marketing challenge, and then according to the situation you play out your cards, right? Like what is your product, what you want to do, and then you see the situation and then you read. And as a yeah.
But also
So
a little bit of marketing that I understand. I don't understand much of it because I've never dealt. Because as a teacher, I deal with students. As a spiritual coach, I deal with people's emotions. So it is not a lot about marketing. But same product, same like if there is water bottle or maybe like any simple product.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can decide to make a product that is more economical, selling in the masses, or you can make it like a luxury brand or something. It depends on your own vision, what you want to do, and how you. Anything that a person sells is because how they want to be known when they go. That is something I've seen. Purpose of starting a business and running it the way they run is dependent on a person's vision of themselves in future. Like if you started this podcast, your vision is that you want to share knowledge and experiences of people with people who are starting out or they don't have any access, right? That is your aim, and you want to be known as a person who asks such questions. If I want, like, I'm usually very blunt in terms of I will not give sugar coated answers to anybody because I want them to choose the right path instead of randomly meandering their way here and there. So I have that image. Anybody who knows me knows that they will get the guidance that is for them. I will not give a guidance ki, it can be like, no, I'll not speak like that. I'll speak exactly. I'll not be rude that, okay, like giving a very bad something that might break their hearts, but I'll give them a proper guidance along with the motivation that if this is looking bad, you can try this. So that is, I don't want to be known as a person who's very sweet, but not of much use. So your vision matters. You will market your things according to whatever is your vision to be seen as.
No, that's exactly the point. And on Destiny, like I really want to maybe just pause here, Sushma. I think I definitely believe in Destiny. That's what kind of connected us too. I mean, you've been part of my journey. You've been like a friend, philosopher, guide. We connected through a common friend, but I just wanted to kind of acknowledge that, like, I mean, that it's been a great friendship, and not to boast, but you know, it's always something that connects people, right? So what do you think you saw in me when we first connected that maybe I couldn't see in myself? So because we have had 2 sessions.
When I first met you, like obviously online, because we connected to a common friend, the first thing I noticed that you're a compassionate person. You feel not exactly empathetic, but very compassionate. Like you feel what others are going through and you want to improve their lives. This is one thing that I've seen consistently. No matter what is going on in your own life, be it your siblings, or maybe it could be a friend or parents or whatever. So you're always concerned about, like, everybody around me should be happy. uh, that is one thing I saw. And then when we started talking, like, about a lot of other things and professional things and what decisions to make and not to make, one thing I saw is that you want to be known as somebody who is there for if somebody needs you, you will be there. That is the kind of thing I saw you. So and your vision that I told you, I remember one of the tarot readings I told you that, Charu, you're not meant to be confined in a space. You are a person who needs to expand. Like, you want to be known by the world, and you need to do something that will bring your voice out. You are not a person who can keep it inside for a long time. And I'm so glad that you.
Which was eye-opening, Sushma, because personally, I don't know if I can.
You knew it from inside, but you were not ready to accept it. That's what I told. You know that many people are not ready to accept it inside them, that yes, this is what I want in my life. You knew it from very, because the moment I said this, it was literally a moment where you said, you're right. So that is what I saw in you, and I'm really glad that you actually heard your inner voice and took up the decision to be in the open and explore the world in the way you want to. So that is something I saw.
It's been amazing. And I think on the same point, like, what do you think, like, or you wish more founders, more people who want to start something, what should they understand about their own inner wisdom, inner voice, before they kind of chase validation from other people? And this, what should they know about themselves? What do you think?
See, anybody who wants to start something, as I told you, that if you compare yourself to anything, you will never be happy with whatever you are having. So if a founder, a person who wants to start a business, or not only a business, if you want to do anything, like if I decide to learn painting tomorrow, okay, I cannot compare myself to the teacher who's teaching me the painting. That person has experience of a lifetime. Okay, and I'm holding the brush for the first time. So never be afraid of a failure that you're going, because failure is a part of success. You will not be successful on day one. It happens with some people, overnight they become stars, but they fade down also if they don't work consistently. Right. So primarily, one, bring stillness in your life. Know what you want. First thing is, you have to know what you want. Second is, be consistent no matter what. You have to be resilient. Even if you face failure, even if you're not feeling well, even if you don't want to work on days, you have to. Like I told, if I'm not feeling well, I will not take up a tarot reading. Not because that I'm in a mood. It's because my energy affects the reading. I have to be very ethical in my work. So your ethics, your inner calling, you have to be understanding yourself before you jump into. And then the most important thing after doing all that is, never judge your success with anybody else's. Like, if I start a YouTube channel today, and even after a year, I have not even 1,000 followers, suppose. Okay, I cannot compare myself to Mr. Beast. He has, I think, billion. The following is in billions. All kids are following him. So it is a gradual step. If I compare to that, I will not be even able to achieve 200 followers, right? So
I completely agree.
Slow. Don't compare, because if you look outside, you will never be satisfied, no matter what. You might have $1 million in your pocket right now, but you see, Elon Musk to itna kama raha hai, you are not going to be satisfied. Satisfaction. Always try to improve yourself. Be resilient in your work. Show up every day, but don't compare. That is how, for anybody, any work, even doing your homework.
I think that's a takeaway for everybody. You're right. Yeah. So if I can request you to pull one final card together, Sushma, and this time I have a specific question. So now that we have this milestone of 100 videos, I just want to ask, what does the next chapter of this Marketing Tarot look like for you? What do you see as the next
like chapter? In immediate, like 5-6 months? Yes, or
maybe next 3 to 6 months. Yeah.
So it is very scary card to look at. It's 10 of Swords. It is a time where you will feel that even though I'm putting in a lot of effort, I'm not getting the kind of results I want. It will be
Mhm.
stressful also in coming. Like if I talk about 3 months, if I
Yeah.
say about the next 3 months, okay, it's a wheel of fortune. You'll start seeing changes in your channel. Like in these 3 months, you'll be having a lot of experimentation also that I see.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
the card, it looks very scary. You see the 10 sword in the back of a person, like he's in completely. So it shows a lot of stress. It
Mm.
shows a lot of things that you want to change and you want to experiment, and you'll be like कि नहीं ये ठीक नहीं हो रहा है. um, should I do this, should I do that?
Yeah.
There'll be a lot
Yeah.
of chaos. Maybe it is already going on also.
It is.
कि
That's why
what
I'm nodding my head.
yeah, but then after the 3 months, like this is what, June, around September, October, by end
Yeah.
of that, you will start seeing the changes, like the number of viewers, number of hours, number of followers. And right before we started this, I gave you a few advice also. If you follow that, then definitely you will see that shift.
Sure.
And eventually, like I pulled the card earlier, that the Empress card, that is there, but it will take time.
Yeah.
Because as I told you just before that, you have to be resilient and consistent. It doesn't matter what the results are showing right now, because if we stop at small obstacles, we will never be able to reach where we want to go. So
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
what it is right now.
No, that's great. Thank you so much. And we just are at the tail end of our conversation, although I never want this to end. It's so interesting for me. But we'll close with two questions, Sushma. First one, for example, if I ask you if your founder's journey, right, was a tarot card, which one would it be so far, what you've seen, and why? For
For
you.
me
For you.
also. For me,
Yeah.
I'm saying, but in general, a journey of starting something new, it's always the Fool's card. Okay, there's
Okay.
a card. It shows a very young, youthful person standing on the cliff of a mountain. If he takes one step ahead, will fall down. But there is a dog just beside them, pulling him, giving him guidance that आगे तो भाई खाई है देख ले तू. Okay,
Wow.
so you have your well wishers with you who will guide you. That don't jump from here. But you are still ready to take the risk because you know there is something out there that you can reach. So that is how we all jump into decisions where we are. And a fool is a
Amazing.
happy-go-lucky person, not bothered about what will happen when he has his baggage. Like he has a stick and वो पोटली सी बंधी है उसके पीछे, and he knows that I'm happy
Mhm.
and I'm chasing only my happiness. That is how
Yes.
I felt like I wanted to do something satisfactory. Anyone who does, especially people who have a startups.
Yes.
They do it for passion most of the time. They're not doing it for, like, obviously they want the money coming in, but the
Sure.
reason to start is always their own, something to create, and they want to be happy
Yes.
and all that.
Yeah.
It's a fool's card mostly. And if in long run, I think it will be a card of maybe a magician. There's a card, like I showed you before we
Yeah.
started. There's a
Yeah.
card of magician. It has a wand. Like you have everything around you. Now it's up to you what you create.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I see myself a combination of both of this. That I am happy in my journey.
Yeah.
I want to create something new, magical, with the help of whatever resources I have. That is what I think my journey will come in.
Oh my God, you literally summed it up. I think I love the example of the fool's card you gave. I think every founder will relate.
Every founder will relate to it. That is how we all begin. We might have different aims. Somebody wants to become an emperor or empress or something. But
Yeah.
I want to be the magician who, abracadabra,
As a wand. Yeah, yeah,
transformation. Yeah.
Okay, and then we have this routine, Sushma. We pass on one question to the next guest. So, is there a question on your mind that you would like to pass on to the next guest?
Yes. I have one
Tell
very
me.
important question, and it's a very scary question. I ask it to myself. I have asked it to me myself like hazaro bar, because I have gone through a lot in my life where I had to start from scratch.
Okay.
Like I reached here, and then I had to again, because of different reasons which are like very personal. But one question is that, leaving the external validations and the accolades and the achievement that you have achieved today, what if one day everything goes off? What one quality in you will retain that will make you take that journey again, or maybe a new path?
Yeah.
What will be the one quality in you that you think you have will make you not take the fall and take it as a stepping stone for the next journey you are going to be in?
Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone needs to give this a thought because
No, this
nothing
is
is
something you should
permanent,
ask
you know.
yourself daily. And
Yeah.
this question. I think long back when I was very young, I saw in Shah Rukh Khan's interview. Uh, Somebody asked him कि कल को अगर आप बादशाह नहीं रहे तो क्या होगा? Like if you're not the king of Bollywood and all that. कहता है ये सवाल मैं खुद से कई बार पूछता हूँ और मुझे ये पता है मैं जब बादशाह नहीं भी था तब भी मैं शाहरुख था. You know, so he had
That's
the कि
self-belief,
I
yeah.
have my talent. You can take the achievements I have, but you cannot take my talent. You cannot take my destiny. You cannot take my willpower, my resilience. So that was something I learned. I heard it when I was maybe in school, but that question was very interesting. And whenever I felt like कि कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है, then the same question came कि अगर ये नहीं रहा तो क्या करेंगे? कुछ और देखते हैं.
Yeah,
I will still be me, no matter what. So that is what.
that's a very, very, very valid question. And I think people will get motivation from the answer that they get, you know, from them.
Yes.
It will make them
That
think.
will let them
Yeah.
see what they truly are,
Yeah.
where they stand in their life, what is their own self-esteem in their eyes, no matter what people think of you.
Yeah.
आपको बहुत अच्छा समझ सकते हैं, बहुत बुरा समझ सकते हैं, बट आप खुद को क्या समझते हो?
Yeah.
आपको क्या लगता है कि आप कौन हो? Who knows you? Because you might be a superstar, but could be very timid inside. So just look inside what is there.
Know
अपने
yourself.
आप को
Yeah.
ऐसे अपने आप को झकझोर के देखो अंदर है क्या.
Oh God. So, guys, Dr. Sushma Dwivedi, someone who bridges science and soul and helps people find what they already know. You just asked that question. I think that question in itself will answer what people want to know about themselves. You can find her on mysticmagicmiracles.com, Instagram handle @mysticmagicmiracles. I think, Sushma, this channel was started with a question like, what if we used the wisdom of the cards that I have designed for marketing, and a bit of intuition, and talk about real growth, like connected to the real world problems in marketing. I think 100 videos later, we are just getting started, is what I would say. I think we have a lot more to explore.
It's a long journey and it will be a very fruitful journey, and I wish you all the best. And like I said, just keep moving. Nothing should stop you. If you keep moving, you will reach somewhere. That's the motto of my life. No matter if this stops, bend your way, go here.
Yeah,
Bend your
yeah.
way, go. You will reach somewhere.
Just keep moving. So that's the ultimate lesson. Just keep moving. Thank you so much, Sushma. Thank you, and hopefully next 100 episodes we will see you again, or maybe even before that.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm anytime happy to talk to you. So it has been really nice. It's an honor that you called me for your 100th video, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you. So anytime you call me, and I'm just a call away.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.